Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as roses, and her hair as black as ebony. Snow White lived with her wicked stepmother, the queen, who was very jealous of Snow White's beauty. Every day the queen would ask her magic mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And every day the mirror would reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." But one day, when the queen asked her mirror the same question, it answered, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." The queen became furious and ordered her huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and make sure she never returned. The huntsman, though kind-hearted, couldn't bring himself to harm the princess, so he let Snow White go and told her to run far away. Snow White wandered through the forest until she found a little cottage. Inside, she discovered that it belonged to 7 dwarfs. They were kind and friendly, and they welcomed Snow White into their home. "Stay with us and be safe," they said, "but be careful of the queen. She is still looking for you." Meanwhile, the queen discovered Snow White was still alive. She asked her magic mirror again, and this time it told her the princess was hiding with the dwarfs. The queen, angry and determined, disguised herself as an old peddler woman. She made a poisonous apple and set off to find Snow White. Disguised as an old woman, the queen knocked on the door of the cottage. "Would you like to buy an apple?" she asked sweetly. Snow White, always kind and trusting, took the apple. As soon as she took a bite, she fell into a deep sleep. The queen laughed and went away, believing she had finally won. When the dwarfs returned home and found Snow White, they were heartbroken. They tried everything to wake her, but nothing worked. So they placed her in a glass coffin, thinking they would never see her awake again. One day, a prince who had heard of Snow White's beauty came to the cottage. He had fallen in love with her from afar, and upon seeing her in the coffin, was overcome with sadness. He kissed Snow White gently, and to everyone's surprise, she opened her eyes. The kiss had broken the spell, and Snow White woke up. The prince was overjoyed, and Snow White was just as happy to see him. The two of them fell in love instantly and decided to marry. The dwarfs cheered with joy, and the kingdom celebrated. As for the wicked queen, she was never seen again. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, surrounded by love and kindness, and the dwarfs were always there to protect her. And so, Snow White's story ended with happiness and peace, proving that kindness and love can always overcome evil. The end.